Hey, here at the 365 First channel, we are all about first times and your experiences. And this is our first live on YouTube. So pretty excited about that. And want to welcome anyone that starts tuning in and watching. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And what we are going to talk about tonight, for those of you the other part of the country or the world, are the 5 reasons why self-development doesn't work and sometimes actually sucks. So my name is Ann Bernard, and I will be doing this period of instruction. What do you need to know about me? So I am the CEO of the 365 First company, and we have multiple branches in the company. So there's the 365 First Challenge, there's First Time Storytelling, and then there's next level First Coaching. And currently on the call, we have David Johnson, who is one of the Next Level First coaches. So it is it's a slightly weird night to be doing our first live, because it is here in the US. It is the eve of Thanksgiving. So a lot of people, well, hopefully not a lot of people are traveling. Hopefully people are staying local to stay safe. But there are people that are traveling, are prepping, making food. So while for most people, they would say, not the ideal time to get things started, but I have the mindset that you have to seize the day. You have to make things happen. And if you are going to be successful in life, you don't put things off. So this is the first, or what will be, a bi-monthly series where we're going to have lives on YouTube. You can always join us though via the Zoom link. If you're interested in that, go ahead and leave a message, and I'll connect with you, and I'll make sure that you get the Zoom link so that you can join us in Zoom. And when you do that, then you get the ability to ask questions and participate in what we do. But what we are going to be doing these bi-monthly, so bi-monthly is every other week, we're going to talk about self-development concepts, and we're going to tie it to being action driven, and also the first times in your experiences, because you are entering the world of first time in your experiences, but also entering the world of having genuine conversations about self-development. So we're going to look at different concepts. We're going to dissect those concepts, and really we're going to try and ensure that you properly understand concepts that, quite frankly, right now are not being explained very thoroughly. So we're going to handle things a little slice at a time, so that it's not a huge amount of information for you at any given time. So, but to get started, the reason why I want to get started with the 5 reasons why self-development doesn't work and sucks is so that we start with the elephant in the room. And that elephant in the room is the fact that self-development is very hard. So we're going to go ahead and get into this brief. And I don't know if anybody else is trying to join or not, but all right, so here we go. Next slide. Here we go. So what is self-development? Always want to identify your terms so that we're on the same page and we have the same understanding. So when we're talking about self-development in this brief, future brief on this channel, we're talking about the process by which you decide to grow, to change, to develop, to improve your characters, your ability, your personality, your capabilities, your potential. So it's it encompasses a lot of things, because if you think about fitness, if you think about your health, if you think about the skills, your education, that all falls under that very broad umbrella of self development. So this is why we're going to break it down to smaller concept, but in this particular uh the 5 reasons why it doesn't work and it sucks, we're talking about that very broad statement of self-development and how you are looking to change, improve, and grow basically every aspect of who you are and your life. So it is about setting goal, meeting your goals, it's about being successful, it's about becoming the person that you've always wanted to be, that you imagine yourself having the potential of being. So, again, this is a great deal of different things that fall into this. Okay, so why does it not work, and why does it sometimes suck? Number one reason, it is hard. So I will never sugarcoat things for you. It is worth it, but it is hard. So in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about the 3 reasons why self-development is amazing and why you want to engage in it. Now I want to start out again with being honest and truthful with you. Self-development is hard. It's tough. It's complex. It requires you to invest your most precious resources. And the top resource is not money. The top resources are your energy and your time. So, in order for you to grow who you are, improve, change, learn, you have to invest your time and energy. And yes, more than likely, also your money. But the truth is, money, that comes and goes. You have to use energy and time to make money. But you can make the investment of money much easier than the actual investment of your energy and your time. So there's only so much time in a day. So with all the things that you have to accomplish, the responsibilities that you have to look into carving time into your self-development. Remember, I talked about it's your education, it's your health, it's your fitness. So how much time do you give to each? How do you decide what needs more of your time? And then there's also your energy. So sometimes you have the time, but you're exhausted and you're tired. So now you don't have the energy to put into the investment of what is required for you to do. So it's a very fine balance of all your resources in order to invest into self-development. So that's why that sometimes it doesn't work. It's because you don't have the resources to apply. Now, you might be tackling on too much, which is why it doesn't work, but we're going to talk more about that too, right? But I just want you to think about and say, you know what, Anne? Yes, it is hard. And because it's hard, and I realize that up front, I accept it and I'm going to figure out how to make it work. So that's a much better place to start off from than to think that it's going to be easy. It's going to, and it can definitely be fun. In the world of first time and your experiences, we make things fun. So it can definitely be fun. But generally speaking, again, it is something that is hard. And that's one of the reason why for some people they'll quit. When something is really hard, they're going to quit. So then it doesn't work because they've given up, or it's why it's going to suck. And sometimes things just suck and you struggle and you have to suck it up. You have to work your way through it. And then, one of the things that we'll talk about through all of this is about having the support and about having accountability, because you're going to meet those points. You're going to have those moments where it's really going to suck. It's really going to be hard, and you're going to be tempted to quit because it's hard. So that's our first reason. The second reason, and this is not a mistake or an error necessarily on your part, but it is on those who are in the self-development industry. Again, education, health, fitness, and life coaching, everything has to do with your growth, with your development, is that a lot of people will tell you that they have the answer for you. They can give you the answer and the way. And the truth is that there is no one size fits all when it comes to self-development. So the reason why it might not work for you is not because you can't do it, but it's because you're following a process that worked for one person, but does not work for you. So self-development is actually a very personalized. So to be successful in self-development, it needs to be very personalized to who you are. Well, how do you do that? It's trial and error. I mean, you definitely need to learn and venture out and find out the people that offer processes and systems for what you're trying to achieve. So if you're trying to do keto and fasting, right? So there's a lot of different experts out there that you can get information from. Now, generally speaking, some of the information is going to be the same, but how they do it and how they recommend that you do it might vary from person to person that is teaching the concept. So one person, the way they're teaching it might not work for you. That doesn't mean that keto and fasting doesn't work for you. It means that the way that that person was teaching it doesn't work for you. But what ends up happening is that we go to one expert, it doesn't work for us, and then we make the assumption that doesn't work for me. Versus, okay, I gave this some time and effort. This doesn't work for me. Let me find if there's somebody who teaches it differently, and that will then now work for me. Now, ideally, what you learn is to really identify who you are so you can narrow down how someone teaches or what they promote or how they present, whether or not that is going to work for you. But again, don't want to get to rabbit holes. What I want you to understand is that self-development is not a one size fits all. So if you are looking for quick answers, they don't exist. If that's the path that you want to grow and improve and change, you are going to fail. So it's accepting that it's a process. It's not easy. It's hard. And you have to go through the trial and errors. So that's reason number 2 of why self-development doesn't work and sucks, is that there's no one size fits all.
So, Anne, if I could interject, so there's no fast food in self-development?
No, there's no fast food and there's no magic pill.
Okay.
All right. So the other thing that people are happy to overlook, right, is that it's action driven. So you can listen to me talk to you about self development until I'm blue in the face, and I will never do anything for you until you actually decide to take actions. When you decide to act, start implementing, start discovering if that can or can't work for you, then you start working towards potentially having success. Again, there's no guaranteed because my options, what worked for me might still not work for you. But at least you're acting and you're walking down a path which will teach you more about yourself and will teach you what doesn't work. But if all you do is listen to self-help book, is listen to all of these different concepts, all of these different options, and you never begin taking actions, you will never get anywhere. So, self-development is action driven. You have to act. I mean, that's pretty and very self forward. So that's why here on this channel, we are always going to talk about what actions that you can take because it has to be action driven. Okay. Well, it's pretty straightforward. Okay. The next one. Again, some people never talk about this because it can be scary, because it can be like, whoa, okay, I don't want to hear this. And because now I know this, I'm more hesitant to even engage in self development. Well, the truth is what they say, the truth will set you free. Accepting these truths is, in fact, what's going to start setting you up for success. So, another thing, it is that self development is a lifelong commitment. It's never ending. It's an investment of your time and energy for the rest of your life because life is about living, which is about growing, learning, and pursuing things. So, in order to do that, then you constantly have to continue to develop who you are. Otherwise, life becomes very lame, it becomes boring, it becomes routine, and it becomes depressing. So I'm getting a little bit more into why self-development is amazing is because it leads to such an amazing life as you grow and you discover everything that you are capable of doing and everything that life has to offer. But you accept that you're on this huge commitment to yourself. And that's the beauty though about this, right? So when when you get married, you're making that lifelong commitment to yourself and to another individual. This is a commitment that you're making to yourself. It's a promise that you're making, to yourself. And one of the most damaging thing that you can do is not let somebody else down, but is to let you down. Because once you let yourself down and you lose trust in yourself, if you can't believe yourself, then you're walking a very slippery slope. So if you understand like, yes, I want to embrace self-development, and because I'm embracing self-development, I acknowledge I'm making this commitment. I'm making this lifelong commitment to myself. And then you're starting off on the right foot. So that way, when it does get difficult, when it becomes very hard and it sucks, you've made the commitment and you stick with it, then you're much more likely to get to where it is going to work for you. If you can't make the commitment, then it's not going to work. So, do you want it to work? You got to make the commitment. All right. Okay. So again, type of things you might not want to hear. Bottom line, you engage in self development, you're guaranteed setbacks and you're guaranteed failures. So even if you follow everything that you get taught on this channel, there are still no guarantees of success. There are guarantees that you're going to grow. There are guarantees that you're going to learn. There are guarantees that you're going to change. But a lot of people engage in self development because they want success, because they want money, and because they want to reach their goals. Well, those three are not guaranteed. Happiness is also not something that is guaranteed. So, some of these things can be fleeting. In the self development process, you learn to cope with the setbacks. You learn how to understand what went wrong, therefore trying again. So setbacks is there's also reverting back. So as you're making progress, as you're growing, as you're changing, circumstances, you might have increased stress, you're going to revert back to how you used to be, and then you're going to, you might feel defeated by that. It's understanding, hey, that's normal. Those are guaranteed in the self-development process that this is going to happen. This is where self-development sometimes sucks, but you're accepting that this might happen. When you accept it, then you start arming and preparing yourself so when it does happen, okay, this is where I'm at with it. I have my support, I have my accountability, I have my plan, and I'm going to continue to proceed forward. And then if you're set back or you reverting back to a certain way that you used to be leads to failure, then you look at that failure and you learn to dissect the failure. You learn to, again, understand what went wrong, go back to the drawing board and try again. And you're in a place where you are prepared, you have the mindset to do that because of your process of self development with the understanding that, hey, there are going to be setbacks, there are going to be failures. So let me develop the skills that I need to handle those. So now you're preparing yourself. If you're not prepared, then you'll quit, you'll give up. And, again, this is where then self development doesn't work because you did not have the understanding of what you're walking into and setting yourself up for. So, that is the final. So, that was the fifth reason why self development sometimes doesn't work and sucks. So, I hope you enjoyed. The aim of this is to make these quick and give you the bang for your money, make these quick. And the more you all join on the actual Zoom call, then you can ask some question. I don't know, David, do you have some questions, some comments before we give them the final screen of how to get in touch with us?
I like what you said. It's really straight and to the point that self-development is a lifelong journey. It's a huge commitment, and there's definitely bumps, peaks and valleys along the way, right? And that's part of why it sucks. And as the title slide said, so um, it's everyone has, I think, tried it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say everyone has tried it. I mean, it's part of life. It's part of what we're all encouraged to do in school and so on and so forth. But once we get to be an adult and kind of have our own life and we can make our own choices and we don't have always people, encouraging us anymore, it really comes down to our own commitment and what we really want to do for ourselves. And I've heard it said also that the best investment we can make, because money was part of what that was one of the third bullets there in terms of, energy, time, and money. Sometimes when we decide what to do with our money, we might invest it, we might buy things, but the best investment is really in ourselves. And that's, I think, what you're talking about. But investment is mostly in energy and time. It's not always the money that that makes or breaks the attempt. It's it's whether we really have that solid commitment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And the biggest thing, if I went through this kind of fast, please go back and watch it and understand that this is to set you up for success, to have these understanding. And as we progress through these bi-monthly um, webinars, we'll address more, a lot more of the concepts and how to prepare and how to set yourself up for success. But I wanted to get this out and start with that. And again, next week, we're going to talk, not next week, the week after, then we'll talk about the 3 reasons why you want to engage in self development and why it's amazing and life changing and just really worth it. And so, I hope as you heard this, that you didn't see it in a negative way. So one of the things that you'll realize, I'm a realist, right? So I am never a pessimist. I'm always, I'm either a optimist or a realist. And I think it's crucial to be a realist, because then you're not setting yourself up again to be disappointed or to fail. You're setting yourself up to be prepared and to have an understanding, to have the proper foundation, the right footing. And that's how I approach self development. That's how I teach self development. And that's the type of conversation and communication that you're going to get from everyone on this channel, because we are not here to blow smoke up your and and try and sell you something that is not right for you. What you'll discover is how to come up with your own solutions with the concept that we're going to teach you and that we're going to talk about. So I'm very excited to have gotten this started. So it is, the eve of Thanksgiving. So David and I and the team here at 365 First all wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving if you are US based. And we look forward, and actually a plug if you haven't seen it yet. So the team did this pay it forward, give thanks challenge. So check out those videos and then, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. So that way you get all of our updates and our videos. And then across social media, these are the handles to find the team and to find the 365 First challenge in the team. So, all right. Well, it's been a pleasure, and I hope you get a lot of value. And we look forward to seeing you all next time.